I will tell you exactly what tokens will Alex Becker mention in his video today and which ones has the most upside. Welcome back, my name is Stan, I'm the CEO and co-founder of a custom software development agency. We work with the City of New York, SAP and General Electric. I've done more than $15 million in custom software sales. And on this channel, I'm sharing my journey on turning $500,000 in crypto to 10 million. In this video, we will go through Alex Becker today's video because the guy mentioned this week that he will be publishing the video on Sunday, 11:30 a.m. EST. It's actually urgent video. Make sure to check it out till the end because I will share the highest upside token that you can make money on that Alex has a high chance of mentioning in the video today. So guys, I just came back from the vacation from Maldives. Here is a picture of my legs in jacuzzi. And I have some alpha to share because Alex, with a high chance probability, will be posting his Gamblify video today. The video that we were all waiting for quite some time. He actually made a post on this on Twitter, which he then deleted himself, which is quite interesting by itself, which might mean that he will not be publishing the video, but I don't think so. It has been a lot of weeks, many weeks already without him publishing the video. I think this Sunday should be it. So, interesting thing about the tokens and the coins that he might be mentioning. He has several projects in terms of the Gamblify that he likes a lot, that he was mentioned in the previous videos as well, that he's talking on his Twitter from time to time, that he publicly also mentioned he actually bought them. So two of them are Crown and VPP. He made this post about 2 weeks ago and the price of VPP surged. After that, he actually deleted this tweet, which is quite interesting by itself because I think he understood that he just pumped the token essentially. Recently, so I think it just happened 2 days ago, he mentioned that he invested and added another couple 6 figures in Bazed Games, AI, and insane new gaming chain this week. He didn't mention anything about Gamblify, which is quite interesting by itself. Bazed Games, AI, and insane new gaming chain this week. So it's interesting in terms of the narratives that Alex is playing and things like that. The reason I'm showing this post because you might think like what type of connection this post has with like Gamblify tokens and things like that. Because initially there was a post and the comment where Alex mentioned that he will be disclosing more information in terms of these things and the Gamblify tokens in his video on Sunday at 11:30 a.m. EST. So this is the date that we all expect currently in terms of him publishing the video, and in terms of the sum of the tokens, you already see them going up a bit in anticipation of this event, in anticipation that this thing would essentially happen. So I will give you a predict of 6 tokens, Gamblify tokens that he will be mentioning in his video, and I will provide you with the reasoning. Make sure to check out the whole thing because at the end of the video we will specifically go through the one that I think has the most upside, and I will provide you with the proof and facts and essentially reasoning so you can make a calculated decision on your end. So the first one is DeRace. In his previous video where he was mentioning different tokens in terms of gambling and Gamblify as well, DeRace was basically the first one that he mentioned, and it's quite interesting by itself because it's 45 million market cap at this stage, so it's definitely not low, but it was dead in the bear market and currently didn't surge much as well. So if you would check from 0.16, which are the lows of the bear market, to 0.34, right? Which is quite interesting. It's just a 4x for the gambling token. It's not that low because we have some tokens that didn't surge much, like at all. 45 million market cap. One of the things that Alex has is that he does not want to mention like very low caps in the video because he understands that it will cause them to pump a lot and it's not very healthy for the projects as well. So we will discuss it a bit later in the video as well. So DeRace is basically a horse betting project from the last cycle. He was talking about it a lot. I think it was reaching as high as $7 actually last cycle, and I had some of these coins as well. Interesting thing with betting on horses because it's very addicting. And if you would go on the hippodromes, you would find like 70 years old guys. They're going there daily and they're constantly betting on horses. They're spending time with their friends. So it's very addicting, and it's definitely a long-term type of activity as well. Kind of the clone of this thing is Crown by Third Time Games, and it's a very interesting bullish project is because it's new, so it's from this cycle, so it definitely has higher chance in terms of surging and higher upside because people in general just like new things. It's also on Solana, which is quite bullish by itself because there are a lot of gaming tokens on Solana and there are a lot of Gamblify tokens on Solana, and Solana one is definitely going to be a narrative of the upcoming bull as well, and it's already is actually. It's kind of like this, you know, grandpa DeRace and Sun crown, and Sun is doing pretty well already. So if we would check out the price in October, around the same time of the lows for DeRace, right? From October, DeRace had done around 4x to the highs, and crown actually done, if we would check from this 0.18, it's actually pretty nice. So it's a 10x from there. So I think market currently is expecting a next leg up in terms of this token as well. And it's quite bullish that the fact that Alex essentially just published around 2 weeks ago that he bought some crown as well. And it's interesting because his buying price, I believe, is already higher than we are at currently. So some of these pumps was actually caused by his tweet as well. One of the interesting things with this token is that it's kind of high market cap at this stage. And if you would check a fully diluted valuation, it's 160 million, so it will go higher. And yeah, like there is definitely certain upside in this, but the upside is quite limited by itself. Next thing I think that Alex will mention on his videos, blockchain bets. There are public buys of blockchain bets on his public wallets, which he obviously knows of, that they've been tracked by many communities, and if he's buying something there, it will definitely surge, it will definitely go up. So in the last 3 months we had a nice surge from 0.06 to the highs of 0.053, so it's also actually 10x. And now we are kind of consolidating, so we're already at 50-60% correction from here. Alex was also mentioning this token in his video, so there is a high chance that in his Gamblify video he would essentially mention this token as well. Then we have Bazed Games, which is kind of on a lower market cap, so it's a better upside. It's also a great fully diluted because you don't have a lot of tokens in terms of the circulations and things like that. It's also a token of this cycle, which is actually quite bullish by itself. Alex was mentioning it in several videos too, in several previous videos of his. One of the interesting things is that it's on Ethereum actually, so that's why it can kind of surge with the upcoming narrative of Ethereum ETF and essentially funds pushing forward into the Ethereum ecosystem, and I think plays around Ethereum, they will do very well in the upcoming 2 to 3 months. Last but not least, in terms of these tokens that I wanted to share separately is WINR. So WINR market cap is around $33 million already, so it's quite high by itself, and the main reason for that is because there are constantly token unlocks that investors are getting, so some of them they're actually dumping into the market as well. But the whole project is quite bullish by itself just because of the fact that it's an infrastructure casino play. So if you would want to have a casino of your own, you don't need to develop the whole thing. You can just go to these guys, get the solution, and just run this as a business marketing, because in casino the main thing is user acquisition and how you actually acquire users and how you beat your competition in terms of acquiring of the users into the whole thing as well. Fully diluted is 35 million, so it's quite interesting that there are not a lot of unlocks left. So I think it might be a very nice time to actually get into WINR. So this thing, he didn't mention it essentially a lot himself, but people around him, they've been mentioning this token a lot. And at the same time, he was reposting a list of Gamblify tokens on his Twitter, and WINR was basically one of them. So I think essentially following fully the diluted, if these numbers are true, that's actually something very bullish, because it's also an Arbitrum, which is layer 2 on Ethereum, which will also surge in upcoming 2 to 3 to 4 to 5 months, because May, I think, which is a deadline for Ethereum ETF approval, is 5 months from now. So it definitely might be a nice play in terms of actually getting into Gamblify on Arbitrum as well. It's not at its lows definitely, but yeah, I think it might be a very nice choice. So, last but not least, this is the reason why I was telling you watch this video till the end. What is the highest upside token? Because in terms of all these things as we see currently, this one is 30 million, this one is 20 million, this one is 25 million, this one is 56 million market cap, this one is 45 million market cap. So there are no low caps that are lower than 10 million market cap. Therefore, you might say that there is not much upside at this stage. A lot of these tokens, they are pumped, although we're at a nice correction currently, but I do think that we might be seeing a larger correction as well in terms of the things that are happening currently. So, and last but not least, I think it's VPP. And there are several reasons. I think that there is a high chance chance that he would be mentioning virtual poker on his Gamblify video, which will basically surge the price up, and I think we will not be seeing current prices for the VPP if and once he would actually be mentioning it on his video. One of the reasons of why he can be actually mentioning it is because if you would check out one of his previous videos, he was just scrolling through different tabs. So let us see this moment, right?
So what you have to understand is that everybody in crypto, what they're doing is they're going to load up this chart.
Virtual poker, right? So he's specifically going through these tabs, basically closing this tab with virtual poker. And it's kind of these hints, because he was doing a lot of these hints in the previous bull cycle, and this is something he likes and loves to do a lot. And at the same time, it's basically just one clue in terms of this thing. And there is a different moment in this video as well, where he's specifically talking of the fact that there is a poker project that I like, that I was investing in the last cycle and things like that. And I will probably not be showing it now due to the low market cap and things like that. So this is this moment. Listen carefully.
Two and market cap levels I'm comfortable talking about. There's another poker project I've been an investor in for a really long time. I talked about it a lot last bull run. It's a little bit too low right now, but it's...
There is another poker project I've been investor in for quite some time, and he was talking a lot about it in the last cycle. So if we would search for Alex Becker virtual poker on YouTube, we would see that 2 years ago, which is exactly last cycle, he was essentially talking a lot about VPP. And I vividly remember it because I was buying this VPP, following essentially his advice and following the things that he was mentioning from his end in terms of the project and things like that. One of the main questions that you might ask, which is quite fair at this stage, so he mentioned on his previous video that he will not be mentioning VPP just because of the fact it has low market cap. And why do I think that he will be mentioning VPP this video? Well, the main reason for that is because previous video, it was about different gaming tokens, and Gamblify was just one of the things that he was covering on his video. And in specific Gamblify video, he would basically have less tokens to talk about. Therefore, lower market cap tokens can be mentioned just because of the fact like there are not a lot of tokens that are in Gamblify currently, and there are not a lot of tokens that he likes. And with VPP, he is an investor. He was mentioned last cycle. The founder is in Neo Tokyo. They are launching tournaments on Neo Tokyo and things like that. So just crazy by itself. One of the crazy narrative that I have connected with the VPP as well is kind of shift in one of the most bullish gaming influencers as well, who is Hustle in the game. So I am the member of his private, essentially NFT community, TTOO. And what are they doing currently is that they're playing tournaments in virtual poker inside the community. Therefore, more people they actually get to know about this project, because like this whole community, I think it has around 2,000 holders at this stage, if not more, but I think it should be around 2,000. So there is a form that you can kind of submit, and the poker tournament would essentially be played inside the community using VPP, which is the same thing that is happening in Neo Tokyo, which is the community of Alex Becker. And it's kind of interesting thing because there was a guy, for example, asking, it was in the middle of December, hey, why haven't you mentioned VPP or polker? Don't you like them? And if you will scroll down, not a huge fan, last cycle, Becker tokens, in my opinion, not a bad thing, but I'm looking for fresher stuff, which is very interesting because it was in the middle of December, right? An interesting thing what happened next, because after quite some time, so only 2 weeks later, he mentions VPP in one of his videos. And I, as the member of the community, I was very curious about that. So I asked, why do you mention VPP currently? Do you like it now? What changed? And Hustle essentially mentioned something that you can see here. User growth made me dive a little deeper for sure. And right now, if you would essentially just search inside the community, VPP, right? It's constantly being discussed. VPP, VPP tournament, VPP, VPP, VPP. So this is something that usually happens before the pump, because the more traction the project is getting, the higher the chances actually it's going to increase in the price as well. And what's interesting in terms of the things that are happened with Hustle and VPP, from the times that he was not a fan of VPP and polker, he at least published 3 videos where he's talking about VPP as a gem. 1 video, 2 video, 3 video, which is quite interesting by itself. Another thing, so there is a bear gaming watchlist by Hustle. is essentially a CoinMarketCap watchlist where he has all of these tokens that he was following from the bear market as well. And there are some additions that he's doing into this watchlist from time to time. If we would essentially sort by market cap, Virtue Poker is at the lowest market cap in terms of this thing. And I was watching after this watchlist like a month ago, 2 months ago, and there were a bunch of tokens at 1 million market cap, 2 million market cap. So there are things like Sparta essentially, that Sparta DEX, right? It was, I think, at 1 or 2 million where I initially saw it. Right now it should be around 10 million. There were things like Honeyland, right? When I initially saw it, I think it was at 1 or 2 million. Right now it's at 30 million, so it's crazy. It's just done at 10x. Lowest market cap in this watchlist currently is VPP. Therefore, it has the highest upside. Hustle starts to push it from his end. He's essentially doing tournaments in VPP inside of his community. He's doing 3 videos already on VPP. Becker mentions publicly that he's buying VPP. I just show you the tweet, right? It's a very, very bullish narrative. And I think it's one and only opportunity that you could actually be able to get a token like this. At 5 million market cap, at this stage, with this type of influencers, with this type of things happening for this token, it's just crazy. And fully diluted is only 5 times more from there, so it's not very, very bearish essentially as well. So these are my thoughts at this stage in terms of the VPP and in terms of the things that are happening with Gamblify tokens and the things that Alex should be mentioning. I think yesterday we had a build up in terms of the video, the anticipation that the video will come out. It didn't come out yesterday. As far as I remember, it should be coming out today. So 11:30 a.m. EST, Sunday to today, 14th of January. I think this might be the time. So it's quite interesting that people are selling because for some reason they were expecting a video yesterday. But I remember that it should be coming on Sunday, but we will see. Anyway, even if we would not come, like the narrative about this thing is just crazy. And Hustle is not the influencer who would start talking about things when they're at local tops already. He's usually start to talk about things that are going to pump soon, which is quite interesting by itself. So thank you for watching. Let me know what you think in terms of this build up in the comments. And if you like the content, like and subscribe. I would appreciate it. Thank you and see you in the next one.